Well, thank you for coming. It's an honor to be here at Berkeley to speak on the creation side of things. My name is Ken Hovind. I taught high school science 15 years and now do seminars on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. Paul contacted about 160 professors to see if they would debate. Nobody would. So I'm just going to speak for about an hour and then to open up for question and answer time. And if you have questions, please write them down. We'll be ready for it. And any questions are fair game if it's related to the creation topic, okay? Preferably on the topic of creation and evolution. Now, I am not against science, okay? I'm not against schools. I'm just simply against lies. And tonight I'm going to share with you some of the lies that are found in your textbooks that are used consistently to support the evolution theory. Okay, that's not my wife. It's just a picture of her. I have 3 kids, 1 of each. I have them all married off, and the dog died, so I made it. I'm home free. And 2.5 grandkids. I have 1 more coming up here in a few days. And we produce a lot of materials on creation and evolution. None of our material is copyrighted. We encourage people to get them and copy them and give them to your friends and get rid of them. I mean, for sake of time here. There we go. The Bible tells us in the 10 Commandments pretty clearly, thou shalt not bear false witness. Don't lie. Okay? According to the Bible anyway, it's wrong to lie. According to the evolution theory, I can't think of anything that could possibly be wrong because I've often asked people, if evolution is true, how do you tell right from wrong? Make me a list of 10 things that are wrong, and before you make the list, tell me how you decide what goes on the list. Where is your standard to determine right from wrong, if evolution is true? Now, the Bible says very clearly, a false witness shall not be unpunished. He that speaketh lies shall not escape. The Bible talks about people who delight in lies. Psalm 62. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him, a lying tongue and false witness that speaketh lies. Okay. The Bible says, Jesus told some folks, you're of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. I am convinced, after studying this topic for many, many years, there's an awful lot of good science in these science books, but there are some lies mixed with them. I'm not against the science, I'm against the lies, and that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. Now, in my first 3 tapes of my seminar series, I tell how students are being lied to about the Big Bang. It didn't happen. They're being lied to about the age of the Earth. The Earth is not billions of years old. They're being lied to about the cavemen. There's never been a caveman, unless you mean Osama bin Laden. And they're being lied to about the dinosaurs. They did not live millions of years ago. Here, I typically spend 3 hours. I'm only going to spend 1 tonight, talking about some of the lies in the textbooks. 25 of them. There are probably 80 that need to be discussed. Disclaimer here, I'm not trying to get evolution out of the schools. I'm really not. I'm not trying to get creation into the schools. I just want the lies out of the books. That's all. I'm sick and tired of paying for lies. Now, my mother retired from teaching public school. She's been in heaven for 7 years now. My brother retires this year after 34 years of teaching public school. There are many good teachers in the system. Dan Woods was a high school principal for 11 years and a science teacher for 6 years. He and his wife are now on my staff at Dinosaur Adventureland in Pensacola, Florida. There are many good teachers in the system. I agree. Is there anybody here that thinks teachers or textbooks should be allowed to deliberately lie to students for any reason? I think that'd be okay. All right. Wisconsin has a law that requires textbooks to be accurate. So does Alabama. Textbooks shall be adequate and current. Okay. Texas says instructional material shall be factual. Okay. Florida has a law that requires accuracy of instructional material. So does California. California textbooks shall be factually accurate and incorporate principles of instruction reflective of current and confirmed research. Minnesota says a teacher shall not deliberately suppress or distort subject matter. Those are all good laws. The problem is no states enforce them. Okay? 2 Peter warned us, knowing this verse, there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust. See, the reason people scoff at the Bible is not because of their science, it's because of their sin. Julian Huxley, Thomas Huxley's grandson, said, I suppose the reason we leapt at the origin of species was the idea of God interfered with our sexual mores. Ooh, well, at least he's honest. They just want freedom from God's authority over their life, and he admitted it, okay? Sir Arthur Keith, he wrote the foreword to Darwin's book when it was republished in 59. Keith said, evolution is unproved and unprovable. We believe it because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable. Well, Arthur, why would it be unthinkable to think there might be a creator? Well, Romans chapter 1 gives us the whole story. If you read the whole chapter, it's pretty interesting. It says, even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Romans 1 is a very interesting chapter, by the way. Second Thessalonians tells us, for this cause God did send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And if you believe you came from a rock 4.6 billion years ago, you have been deluded, okay? You have believed a strong delusion. You're welcome to believe that. You can believe anything you want. I don't care what you believe. But I'm just telling you, you're deluded if you think your grandpa was a rock. Now, evolutionists cannot silence their critics with logic. That's why they won't debate, okay? And I'll come back at my expense and debate all the professors here at the same time on 3 simple conditions. I get half the time. If there's 20 of them and 1 of me, that's fine. I get half the time. Number 2, we talk about 1 topic at a time. Number 3, anybody can videotape it and use the tapes. Simple. They can't stop us with logic, so they disrupt, distract, use legal pressure, or silence the messenger. Shut this guy up somehow. Here's an atheist forum just 2 days ago going around the internet. His supporters would be doing their best to pack the audience. You do the same. This is atheists talking to each other. Maybe Mike's in the crowd here. This will make it more interesting, as Hovind is a master debater and can have a creationist audience in the palm of his hand, so to speak. Having an audience containing an element hostile to his propaganda will put him off his stride. Loud laughter every time he tells a whopper, or just a collective audible intake of breath, may have the desired effect on him. But a 50 caliber machine gun may not be quite the thing for this job. You want to leave the audience members intact if possible. Otherwise, you're going to create a lot of bad feeling on every side. Why spray all those bullets around? David said. Responding to the previous, why? They're all creationists anyway. I'm still going with the artillery shell, Lenny Flank said. Also responding, well, whatever does the job is fine with me. I just thought of using a large caliber would let him leave the final stage with a real bang. After all, it will be the only honest thing he'll ever do on stage, no? But what worries me in this case is that someone may decide this is the American solution to Hovind. For all that, he is a slimy piece of intellectual crap. This is, after all, an intellectual dispute. Threatening to harm him is not appropriate, nor not legitimate, and not good policy. Where do you stop? Shall we shoot door-to-door evangelists whose ideas we don't like? Jokes have this nasty tendency to turn into actions, John Wilkins writes. True enough, I was only thinking the effect of a 50 caliber anti-personnel round can have on the human body at close range might scare even an audience of creationists into reconsidering their views. Too few of us have a really good appreciation for human internal anatomy, if you ask me. Let me show you something here. This is the same exact mentality the Catholic Church had toward people who disagreed with them just a few hundred years ago when they tortured people and tried to scare everybody else into accepting the Church's dogma. There are people who really honestly want to scare people into accepting the evolution dogma because they don't have any evidence to support it, okay? Now, the Bible tells us the scoffers are going to say, where is the promise of his coming? Since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of. The scoffers are willingly ignorant. In the Greek, that means done on purpose. Okay? They're willingly ignorant of 2 things. Number 1, that by the word of God, the heavens were of old. They don't want to believe God created this place because then that means he owns it. That means there might be some rules. You know, like thou shalt not. They don't want those rules. They don't want anybody telling them what to do. They're ignorant of how God made the heavens.